Hello everyone. These are very strange times that we're living in, and you probably have got some very interesting type of requests from your professor. How exactly are you going to complete these assignments? Well, last week I told you that you could do it with your phone, but I didn't actually show you how to do it with your phone. I don't want to talk about shooting the actual video, I don't want to talk about recording it, or how to actually store those files and everything like that. We can talk about that later, and definitely, if you have questions about that, look into it. There are lots of resources out there. There's lots of other videos out there. There's also my email address where you can contact me and ask me direct questions. But let's just set that aside, because today I want to talk about editing and how you can actually edit a video on your phone. There are a lot of editing softwares out there that are able to be used with your phone. Now, I'm going to use a app called Power Director. It's by a company called Cyberlink. I highly recommend that you buy yourself a hefty SD card. The screen is very small, and you have to kind of click around a lot to be able to actually get by. That being said, a phone is capable of editing. But I'm just going to say, if you have a traditional laptop or desktop computer that is capable of editing and is capable of sending off these projects, then please do that. It's just gonna make your life way easier. I'm definitely starting to acknowledge the flaws of a setup like this. If you're not really in my position where you're expecting to do these really big edits, you're expecting to complete some class assignments, I can completely understand why a phone would really take the cake, because I mean, just look at this. This is huge. I cannot get any more bare bones than this. From what my needs are, I need this as the bare minimum. This is so user-friendly. They're able to get it done faster because they're able to do it on the bus or sitting on the couch watching TV. This is a little bit more tricky. This is a little bit too big to do that type of thing. I guarantee you, if you don't have a lot of editing experience, learning the basics on a phone or starting with something that is simple like a Windows Movie Maker or iMovie, it's not a bad way to go. Don't stay on something like that for the rest of your life. You know, it's kind of like working on training wheels. You're supposed to get off of those training wheels eventually. But if you're just starting out and you need to get these assignments done right now, you know, like learning how to use DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, or Premiere Pro, that's a little bit overwhelming for a lot of people. And I completely understand why you would want to use something like this instead of something like this, even if you have these resources available to you. I use Blackmagic's software, DaVinci Resolve. It is a phenomenal editing software, and it's actually free, so you're welcome there. Let's just say that your computer is, you know, maybe 5 to 10 years old. It's getting up there, something at its bare bones and is really good for, you know, typing in essays or surfing the web. This is just a general rule of thumb. If you can game on it, you can definitely edit off of it. If you have a decent processor, it will be able to handle it just fine. I've got to change that battery, dang it. Where was I? I definitely lost my train of thought. All right, so I'm gonna be giving you guys a couple tips. This isn't a tutorial, this is just tips on how to actually complete an assignment with your phone. The reason that I'm not giving you a tutorial is because the software has amazing tutorials built into it. It tells you directly, oh, click here, click here, click here. And if it's still a little bit fuzzy to you, they offer videos directly in the software itself. So when you open up the application, you're going to see this little question mark, and right there it's going to say tutorials of tutorials that they have available on the app itself, and that's going to be a great resource to you. Now, there is a paid version here, not a bad investment, but I think you'll be just fine with the free version. The software is definitely limiting, but it's really great all the same. You're just going to notice that there are limitations with a screen that is like 5 inches. It's a whole lot better than what my first editing rig was like. When I was using a laptop, everything would freeze up and you would but that's just my first tip. If you are able to use another device, I would recommend it, just because this is not it's not the most seamless experience ever. It's not the best experience ever. It's not bad, it's just not great. And I definitely prefer using a mouse and keyboard. I'm also biased because I've been using a mouse and keyboard for so long that it's just become second nature on how to use it, as opposed to a phone. A little bit more glitchy, but it works and I can do it. So it's up to you. This is tip number 2, run some tests. Try some things out rather than shooting the whole video and then, you know, piecing it together and then finding out later on, oh, darn it, I can't actually do this properly because my computer is not capable of editing 4K. It's too slow, or maybe my phone is just like really choppy. Maybe limit yourself to 1080p or even 720p. I know that it's not the most professional. Make do with what you got. Do some tests, run a couple of things and see if maybe one of them will work out really well in your favor.
Hey guys, I'm going to cut over to another clip that I filmed in an earlier video, it just makes more sense, and I think that it's more appropriate than what I actually said in this video here. So if I'm wearing a different shirt, I've got shorter hair, and the sound is a little bit different, that's why.
Right now, we are able to edit these clips before sending out these assignments, and we're able to take back some of the stuff that we said. We're able to play it back and watch ourselves and make sure that all of the little things that maybe weren't very clear, maybe the times where we just screwed up. You can also cut to different photos of what you're talking about, maybe get some different shots, and you can use that to your advantage. Don't feel like you have to have it where you say everything perfectly in one take. It's actually not a good idea because you have this platform to your advantage now. Use it to your advantage. So here I kept either getting distracted, losing my train of thought, or being interrupted by something in my environment. That is common. You're going to face that for sure. In some ways, you're also able to fix this with editing so that you seem more confident and you're able to deliver your message and you're able to communicate everything that you want to communicate in the most efficient way possible. And that's really important. So that's where editing can play a great factor into this.
You need to put together sentences like this and try to make it work. And my fourth tip is watch other videos. If you have a question or you see something that is a little bit, you're a little bit unfamiliar with it, it's not quite working, or you want to try something out new, I can't tell you how to warp stabilize or do a fine smooth transition or a star wipe. I don't know what you want to do. I can't cover all of those things in this video. If you have an idea and you're like, oh, I really want to see how this would work, look it up on Google. Like, look up a lot of tutorials if you have those questions. If you have a specific idea in mind and you're like, I want to accomplish this, take advantage of that giant library full of tutorials that I showed you earlier. I am going to see about editing, not this whole video, because like I said, that would be a nightmare. I am going to run a test to see how it would actually handle me if I was doing a class presentation. I'm pretty excited on seeing how this would work. Okay, so I've done both of the edits now, and it's not a fair comparison, you know, it's not quite apples to apples, it's not even apples to oranges, it's like apples and maple syrup, you know, which one's sweeter? So those are just some of my closing thoughts. Don't change up your workflow if you have already got something going for you. But if you are brand new to this, like I said, run some tests and experiment. These are very strange times, guys, but we're going to get through this and we're going to be okay. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.